Before we begin our journey tonight, a brief note. This episode of Sleepy Psychology is brought to you by the SAC Center, a leading telehealth clinic specializing in the testing and treatment of autism and ADHD. The SAC Center proudly serves all 50 states, bringing expert care directly to you wherever you are. To learn more about their comprehensive services and how they can help, please visit saccenter.com. Welcome, weary traveler, to a space where the edges of your day can soften and the gentle current of understanding can carry you towards rest. Tonight, we explore a deeply compassionate and empowering approach to mental well-being known as acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT. Pronounced just like the word ACT, it offers a refreshing perspective on how we relate to our internal experiences and live a life aligned with what truly matters. We will journey through its history, understand its core principles, and discover how its insights can profoundly impact your daily life, even as you drift towards the quiet stillness of sleep. Our story begins in the 1980s, emerging from the work of Stephen C. Hayes, a professor of psychology at the University of Nevada, Reno, and his colleagues. At the time, the field of psychology was heavily dominated by cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. CBT, with its focus on changing problematic thoughts, was undeniably effective for many conditions. However, Hayes and his team began to notice certain limitations. They observed that for some individuals, particularly those struggling with chronic pain, anxiety, or intrusive thoughts, trying to control or eliminate their internal experiences often led to more suffering, not less. The harder people fought against their thoughts and feelings, the more entangled they became. Hayes himself experienced significant personal struggles, including a battle with panic disorder, which deeply informed his understanding. He found that traditional attempts to suppress or reframe his anxiety often backfired, creating a vicious cycle. He described instances where he would try to contribute in meetings, only to find himself unable to speak, his heart racing, convinced he was having a heart attack. These episodes grew in frequency, forcing him to withdraw from some teaching duties and limit his activities, as avoidance seemed to take over. He felt trapped within his own mind, with his body becoming a focus of terror and his thoughts a source of torment. This intensely painful period, marked by a sense of life energy draining away, solidified his belief that fighting against these internal experiences was the very problem. This personal experience, coupled with his academic research in behavioral analysis and language, led him to a radical shift in perspective. Instead of viewing unwanted thoughts and feelings as symptoms to be eliminated, he began to see them as normal, though sometimes uncomfortable, aspects of the human experience. The problem, he hypothesized, wasn't the presence of these thoughts and feelings, but rather our struggle with them. This realization formed the bedrock of ACT. It represents what is often called the third wave of behavioral therapies, building upon traditional behaviorism and cognitive therapy, but adding a crucial dimension: acceptance and mindfulness. ACT doesn't aim to change or reduce unwanted thoughts and feelings directly. Instead, it helps individuals change their relationship with those thoughts and feelings. It encourages a shift from fighting an internal battle to opening up, making space for discomfort, and simultaneously committing to actions that align with one's deeply held values. So, what are the core principles of acceptance and commitment therapy? ACT is built around 6 interconnected core processes, often visualized as a hexaflex, working together to promote what ACT calls psychological flexibility. This flexibility is the ability to be present, open up, and do what matters. The first key principle is cognitive defusion. In traditional CBT, the goal might be to challenge or change a negative thought. In ACT, the goal of cognitive defusion is to change how you relate to your thoughts. Instead of seeing thoughts as absolute truths or commands that you must obey, defusion helps you see them as just words, sounds, or images in your mind. It's about unhooking from thoughts, observing them without getting caught up in their content. For example, if you have the thought, "I'm a failure," defusion isn't about arguing against it or trying to think, "No, I'm a success." Instead, it might involve practices like saying to yourself, I'm noticing I'm having the thought that I'm a failure, or imagining the thought written on a leaf floating down a stream. This creates distance and reduces the thought's power over you. The second principle is acceptance. This is about actively and non-judgmentally embracing difficult thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and urges, rather than trying to avoid, suppress, or get rid of them. It's not passive resignation, but an active choice to make room for discomfort without letting it control your behavior. For instance, if you feel a surge of anxiety before a public speaking event, instead of fighting it or trying to make it go away, acceptance involves acknowledging the anxiety, feeling it in your body, and allowing it to be there, even as you continue to prepare for your speech. It's about being willing to feel what you feel, rather than being ruled by a desperate struggle against it. The third is contact with the present moment, which is essentially mindfulness. This involves consciously paying attention to what is happening right here, right now, with openness, interest, and receptiveness. It means engaging fully with your current experience, rather than being lost in rumination about the past or worry about the future. Practicing mindfulness can involve simply noticing your breath, the sounds around you, or the sensations in your body, anchoring yourself in the now. The fourth principle is self as context, often called the observing self. This refers to the idea that there is a consistent, unchanging part of you, a pure awareness, that can observe your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without being those thoughts, feelings, or sensations. It's like the sky that holds all the weather patterns. The clouds, wind, and storms come and go, but the sky remains. This perspective helps you realize that while your thoughts and feelings might be painful, they are not who you are. You are the container for those experiences, not the experiences themselves. This provides a sense of stability and detachment from difficult internal content. The fifth principle focuses on values. In ACT, values are your chosen life directions, what truly matters to you deep in your heart. They are not goals that can be achieved and checked off, but ongoing, guiding principles for how you want to live. Examples might include compassion, creativity, adventure, connection, learning, or honesty. ACT emphasizes clarifying these values, understanding what kind of person you want to be, and what you want your life to stand for. This provides a compass for navigating life's challenges. The sixth and final principle is committed action. This involves taking effective action guided by your values, even in the presence of difficult thoughts and feelings. It's about setting goals that align with your chosen values and then taking concrete, behavioral steps towards those goals, even when fear, doubt, or discomfort arise. For example, if your value is connection, committed action might involve reaching out to a friend, even if you feel anxious about social interaction. It's about moving towards what truly matters, rather than being paralyzed by internal obstacles. The impact of ACT on the field of psychology has been significant. It has broadened our understanding of psychological well-being, moving beyond mere symptom reduction to a more holistic view of living a rich and meaningful life. ACT is an evidence-based therapy, supported by a growing body of research for a wide range of conditions, including depression, anxiety disorders, obsessive-compulsive disorder, chronic pain, substance abuse, and even psychosis. Its emphasis on acceptance and mindfulness has also influenced other therapeutic approaches and has contributed to the broader integration of mindfulness practices into mainstream psychology. It offers a powerful alternative for individuals who have found traditional cognitive restructuring approaches less effective for their particular challenges. How does this powerful approach impact you as an individual today, even if you don't seek formal therapy? The lessons from ACT offer profound tools for navigating the inevitable challenges and discomforts of life, fostering resilience, and living with greater purpose. Let's imagine Cindy. Cindy found herself constantly overwhelmed by a swirling storm of negative thoughts and feelings. Every morning, the thought, "I'm not good enough to succeed today," would immediately arise, followed by a wave of anxiety that left her feeling paralyzed. She'd spend hours trying to convince herself otherwise, arguing with her thoughts, telling herself she shouldn't feel anxious. But the harder she fought, the stronger the thoughts and feelings seemed to become. She began to avoid social gatherings and even hesitated to apply for promotions at work, convinced she'd fail. Her life felt increasingly small, dictated by her internal discomfort. When Cindy started to learn about ACT, she began to explore the principles of cognitive diffusion and acceptance. Instead of trying to eliminate the thought, "I'm not good enough," she learned to simply notice it, perhaps by silently adding, "I'm noticing I'm having the thought that I'm not good enough." This small linguistic shift created a subtle but powerful distance. She started to see her thoughts as just words, not absolute truths. When anxiety surged, instead of clenching against it, she practiced acceptance. She would take a few deep breaths, allowing the anxious sensations to be present in her body, acknowledging them without judgment, saying to herself, "Here's anxiety. It's uncomfortable and that's okay. I can still do what needs to be done." Through practicing contact with the present moment, Cindy began to anchor herself in the here and now. During her morning coffee, instead of her mind racing with worries, she'd intentionally focus on the warmth of the mug, the aroma of the coffee, and the quiet sounds around her. This helped her to ground herself and break free from endless rumination. The concept of self as context also resonated deeply with Cindy. When she was caught in a particularly strong wave of self-criticism, she would remind herself, "I am not these thoughts. I am the space in which these thoughts occur." This observing self gave her a sense of stability and detachment, helping her to realize that her feelings, however intense, were temporary and did not define her core being. Then came the powerful exploration of her values. Cindy realized that beneath all her struggles, she deeply valued connection, growth, and contributing meaningfully to her work. These values weren't just abstract ideas, they were the compass for her life. This clarity was incredibly motivating. Armed with these insights, Cindy began to practice committed action. If her value was connection, and she felt anxious about social gatherings, she would commit to attending one small event each week, accepting the anxiety that came along for the ride. If her value was growth in her career, she would apply for that promotion, even though the thought, "I'm not good enough," would still appear. She learned to take steps towards her values, even when her inner experience was uncomfortable. Over time, Cindy found that while her difficult thoughts and feelings still appeared, their power over her had dramatically lessened. She was no longer fighting an unwinnable internal war. She was living a fuller, richer life, guided by what truly mattered to her, accepting the discomfort as a normal part of being human. So, as we draw this gentle exploration to a close, what can we learn from the teachings of ACT that can illuminate your own path? Firstly, embrace the idea of cognitive diffusion. When unhelpful thoughts arise, try to observe them rather than fusing with them. Imagine them as leaves on a stream, passing clouds, or words on a screen. This creates distance and lessens their impact. You don't have to believe everything your mind tells you. Secondly, practice acceptance. Instead of struggling against difficult emotions or sensations, try to make space for them. Allow them to be present without judgment. This doesn't mean you like them, but it means you're willing to experience them, rather than letting the fight against them consume you. This frees up your energy to live your life. Thirdly, cultivate mindfulness or contact with the present moment. Engage fully with your current experience. Notice your breath, your senses, the sounds around you. This simple practice grounds you, reduces overthinking, and allows you to appreciate the richness of your life as it unfolds, moment by moment. Fourthly, recognize yourself as context. Understand that you are the observer of your thoughts and feelings, not defined by them. This perspective can bring immense liberation during moments of distress, reminding you of your unchanging core. Fifthly, clarify your values. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What kind of person do you want to be? What do you want your life to stand for? Let these values be your guiding stars, illuminating your chosen path. Finally, practice committed action. Once you know what truly matters, take steps towards it, even when discomfort or doubts arise. Don't wait for the perfect feeling. Act in alignment with your values, and watch how your life begins to expand and become more meaningful. Now, as these thoughts gently settle within you, allow yourself to sink even deeper into the stillness of the present moment. Feel the comforting weight of your body, supported and held. The air around you is calm, peaceful. Bring your awareness to your feet. Feel them release any lingering tension. Your ankles are soft, your calves relaxed. Allow this feeling of gentle release to travel up into your knees, your thighs, and your hips. Feel your hips heavy and grounded. Your belly rises and falls softly with each breath, a gentle wave. Your chest expands and contracts with ease. Feel the relaxation spreading through your lower back, then up your spine vertebra by vertebra, releasing any stiffness. Your shoulders are soft and wide, drawing away from your ears. Your arms are heavy and relaxed, from your upper arms to your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, and your hands. Your fingers are gently curled, completely at rest. Feel the muscles of your neck soften, allowing your head to rest gently. Your jaw is loose, your tongue at ease in your mouth. Your eyelids are gently closed, your eyes resting deeply in their sockets. Your forehead is smooth and unlined. Imagine now that you are lying on a soft cloud, suspended gently in the vast, quiet expanse of the night sky. Around you there is only peace, only stillness. Each breath you take deepens the sensation of calm, drawing you further into a state of profound rest. The insights of ACT, of accepting what is and committing to what matters, whisper softly through the air around you, a gentle lullaby. You are capable of navigating discomfort, choosing your path, and living a rich and meaningful existence. Rest now in this quiet understanding. Sleep deeply, peacefully, knowing that you carry within you the capacity for acceptance, for commitment, and for building a life filled with greater peace and purpose, one breath, one gentle thought at a time. Good night. This episode of Sleepy Psychology was brought to you by the SAC Center, a leading telehealth clinic dedicated to the testing and treatment of autism and ADHD. The SAC Center is committed to providing expert, compassionate care across all 50 states, bringing specialized support directly to you, wherever you are. To explore their comprehensive services and learn how they can help, please visit saccenter.com. May your dreams be serene and your rest be deep. Good night.